When invading armies surrounded a medieval city, they believed the battle would be decided at the walls. Towers would burn, gates would splinter, and hunger would force surrender. But in some cities, the real lifeline was not visible from the battlefield. It ran beneath their feet. Hidden underground networks, carved in darkness, carried water, moved supplies, and sometimes even smuggled people beyond enemy lines. Imagine besieging a city for months, convinced it is starving, only to discover it is still drinking fresh water drawn from secret tunnels. In places like Orvieto and the ancient subterranean passages of Derinkuyu, survival depended not on walls alone, but on what lay below. These were not random caves. They were engineered systems designed to outlast sieges and deceive invaders. The true shock for attacking forces was not the height of the battlements. It was the realization that the city was more than what they could see. This is the story of the lost underground networks that turned stone streets into camouflage and transformed entire cities into layered fortresses of survival. Throughout the Middle Ages, sieges were a brutal reality. Armies did not always storm walls immediately. Instead, they encircled cities, cutting off food and water until desperation took hold. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire, many urban centres inherited fragments of older infrastructure, including cisterns and drainage systems. Over time, these were expanded and adapted. In volcanic regions like central Italy, soft rock made excavation possible, leading to vast underground chambers beneath cities such as Orvieto. In Anatolia, earlier subterranean complexes like Derinkuyu were maintained and reused through medieval periods as refuges during invasions. These networks stored grain, sheltered civilians, and concealed wells that reached deep aquifers. Urban planners understood a simple truth. A city without water falls quickly. A city that can hide its resources can endure. What appears today as mysterious tunnels was once part of deliberate civic planning, shaped by generations who expected conflict as a recurring fact of life. So, how did these underground systems actually function? Imagine digging a vertical shaft within city walls until you reach groundwater. That shaft becomes a well, protected from enemy tampering. Now extend horizontal tunnels from that shaft, connecting to storage chambers carved into rock. These rooms maintain stable temperatures, perfect for preserving grain and wine. In Orvieto, narrow staircases spiral downward, allowing access even during bombardment. Ventilation shafts were carefully positioned to draw in fresh air while remaining hidden from outside view. You know how crucial airflow is in confined spaces. Without it, refuge becomes a trap. Some tunnels led beyond the walls, opening discreetly into ravines or wooded areas, enabling messengers or small groups to slip through siege lines at night. The brilliance was subtlety. From above, the city seemed sealed. Beneath, it breathed and moved. These networks required coordinated labour, knowledge of geology, and long-term planning. They were investments in endurance, built not for glory, but for the quiet hope of surviving the next invasion. If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. At first glance, underground medieval tunnels feel distant from modern life. Yet their principles echo in contemporary resilience planning. Today, cities design underground shelters, subway systems, and utility tunnels that protect critical infrastructure from attack or disaster. The idea of decentralizing resources, hiding water supplies, and creating redundant pathways remains vital. In cybersecurity, the concept is similar. Protect visible systems, but also create hidden backups that ensure continuity if the surface fails. Even on a personal scale, the lesson applies. Resilience is often invisible. It is the savings account no one sees, the backup generator, the stored water for emergencies. Medieval cities did not rely solely on walls because walls could fall. They layered defence vertically, thinking below ground as well as above. That mindset of depth over display feels strikingly modern. Instead of building only outward, they built inward, embedding survival into the very earth beneath their streets. When you walk through a medieval city today, you see towers, cathedrals, and cobbled plazas. Rarely do you think about the hollow spaces beneath your steps. Yet those hidden chambers once held the difference between surrender and survival. The lost underground networks remind us that strength is not always visible. Sometimes the most powerful defences are the quiet systems built in anticipation of crisis. Medieval citizens understood that invasion was not a distant possibility, but a recurring threat. They prepared accordingly, carving lifelines into stone, trusting that foresight would outlast force. In a world still marked by uncertainty, their strategy resonates. Build layers, protect essentials, create pathways no enemy expects. The ground beneath us can be more than foundation. It can be refuge, storage, strategy. If this journey into the shadows changed how you see the cities above, stay curious and keep exploring, because history often hides its greatest innovations just out of sight, waiting to be uncovered. If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more.